Hi guys, welcome back to Jay's Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making spicy chicken curry using Jaffna curry powders. So as many of you know, Jaffna curry powders are really spicy. I don't tend to use them very frequently because I have a toddler at home who has her limit on spiciness. But today I'm going to be making this spicy chicken curry and I'm going to show you how to use the Jaffna chili powders. So let's see what are the ingredients we need for today's chicken curry. So what I have here is the oil. I'm using regular canola oil to adding into the pot. And then I'm using ginger garlic paste. For chicken curries, I usually prefer to use this. If you don't have the ones like I have, you can always do old school, cut it and grind it into a paste, chicken and garlic and ginger. And then we have our spices, cardamom pods, cloves, star anise, cinnamon. And of course, I still don't have tomatoes, so I'm using the canned tomatoes. And then 2 potatoes, and then 1 onion, 2 stalks of curry leaves. We have our powders, that is turmeric powder, chili powder, of course our salt to season, and then chicken curry powder. Here, chicken curry powder, I'm using Baba's brand. So if you have any other brand of chicken curry powder, you're always most welcome to use it. And of course, we have our Sri Lanka curry powder. It's actually a Jaffna brand. So, and of course, definitely the chicken. So I'll be cutting up the chicken into small pieces and then we're going to start cooking. So let me prepare the ingredients and then we'll get to cooking. So I've already prepared the ingredients. As you can see, I've already cut up the tomatoes into cubes, and then I have cut out the potatoes into cubes. I have my tomatoes here, which I've also cut into half, and the onions, spices, and curry leaves. And here, why I have 2 bowls of curry powders is because this curry powder, which consists of turmeric, chili powder, and also salt, is actually to marinate the chicken. And this is actually to put in to make the curry. And then we have the salt, and the chicken is already done, but I've left it here to drain out the excess fluids from the chicken itself. So let's start cooking. So here I have the pot heated up, so I'm going to pour in some oil. So you can pour in a bit extra because we need the curry powders to cook and to break in oil. So I'm adding in the oil. So first we're going to be adding the spices. Just give it a little bit of a stir. And then we're going to be adding in the onions. We're going to cook the onions. And you're going to saute the onions till it turn a little bit translucent. And we're going to cook it for a couple more seconds. So now the onions are a little bit translucent and you can get the aroma. So we can add in the ginger garlic paste. Probably about a tablespoon each. And then we're going to give it another quick stir and get it to cooperate together with the onions. And then we're adding in our curry leaves. And at this point, I like to add in the potatoes because I like the potatoes to cook just in time once the chicken cooks. So I'm going to be adding my potatoes also to cook here. So we're going to mix it nicely. And while this cooks, I'm going to be mixing the curry powders, the turmeric, chili powder, and also the salt with the chicken. I'm going to let it marinate a few minutes. So let's do the chicken right now first. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the turmeric, chili powder, and salt. I'm going to mix it together with the chicken, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up and marinate the chicken for a couple of minutes. I'm actually going to use my hands, so I'm going to be back with the marinated chicken with the curry powders and all that's been put in. As you can see, the chicken is, I've already incorporated the whole powder into the chicken, and just make sure that it's well coated with the turmeric, chili powder, and also the salt. You don't have to put too much though, because anyways we're going to put it into the pan and add in more curry powder later on. So let's go and see what's happening to our sauteed ingredients. So as you can see, the onions and the potatoes are cooked a little bit. I like it a little bit like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to add in the tomato. I prefer to add in together with the sauce too. It adds a little bit of taste. So we're going to let it cook. And I don't have to cook too much because the potatoes are actually whole tomatoes, which are very soft. So just cook it a little bit, and then we can add in the chicken. So our tomatoes are getting softer right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the chickens, which I've already marinated. You don't really have to marinate it too long. And I'm just going to give it a quick mix to make sure that all the spices and our sauteed ingredients are mixed together with the chicken. And you might need a bigger pan for this. I always usually make the mistake of using a smaller pan, so make sure you use a bigger pan because you definitely need lots of rooms to actually mix up the chicken. So I'm letting the chicken mix, and I'm going to let it cook for a couple of minutes before I actually add in the curry powder. So I'm going to let it cook a little bit together with the sauteed ingredients, and also with the paste that I've actually added in, marinated together with chicken. So we're going to let it cook like this for a couple of minutes. So don't forget to mix your chicken once in a while, just to make sure that it doesn't stick to the pan. So I'm giving it a last quick mix before I actually add in the curry powders. So this is the curry powder that I'm going to be adding in. So that's 3 tablespoons of Baba's powder, chicken curry powder, and 2 tablespoons of Sri Lankan curry powder. So we're going to give it a quick mix. So if you don't prefer to put in the Jaffna Sri Lankan curry powder, you don't want it spicy, you just want it to be a normal spiciness, a medium regular spiciness, you don't have to add in the Sri Lankan chili powder. But what you can do is just add in another 2 tablespoons of your regular chicken curry powder. So you don't have to add in that. If you like it, you can do it, but if not, just substitute the 2 tablespoons with another 2 tablespoons of your regular meat powder. That will be good. So I've actually mixed it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour water, so you can see how much of curry you would need. So I'm going to make it a little bit thick. So I'm going to pour half a pot of the water first. I'm going to mix it together first. Make sure that all the paste is well incorporated together with the chicken. Okay. And then I'm going to pour the balance of the curry. So you can determine how much of water you want to pour in. if you want the curry to be, anyways, it's going to be, I have to leave it on to boil, so it'll become thicker. It doesn't matter. Even if you pour more extra water, it should be okay. So I'm just going to pour a little bit more just to close up the chicken, just to cover the chicken. So a little bit more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow the chicken to cook and the curry to boil, and I'm going to allow the chicken to cook. So we're going to allow it to boil, and then we're going to see how the doneness of the chicken in a couple of minutes. So don't forget to constantly mix the curry. So you don't want it to burn at the bottom. At the same time, you want to bring all those chicken and potatoes from the bottom, and get everything mixed up together and everything to cook together. So I'm mixing it again. So we're still going to allow it to cook because the potatoes are not cooked yet. So we're going to allow it to cook some more by boiling the curry. So my curry is actually boiling and cooking right now. You not only want to cook till the potatoes and chicken are cooked, but also till the raw smell of the curry paste is gone. So let's check and see if the potatoes are cooked. Okay, this one is cooked. This one is not so we're going to let it cook a little bit more. And as I mentioned earlier, don't forget to keep mixing the curry, making sure everything is incorporated. And we're going to allow the curry to cook a little bit more because some of the potatoes are not cooked yet. So I'm just going to leave it like this. I know many of you will be asking why I make so much of curry, because I had just made thosai, which is an Indian based meat. So chicken curry would be the best to go with the thosai. That's why I'm making a little bit extra, and also I like to share with my neighbor. She loves Indian food, so I'm actually going to be giving her a little bit. And I also keep the curry for 2 days. I don't cook every day because I have a 3-year-old toddler, so it's pretty much really hard. So I'm going to be cooking this much, which will last me for 2 days, and I will be giving it to my neighbor, and also I will be using it for my thosai. So I'm going to allow it to cook a little bit more because some of the potatoes are not cooked yet, so we will let it boil a little bit more. So as you can see, my chicken curry has been boiling for a little bit right now. So we're going to check and see by taking the biggest potato, and it's cooked. So just give it one last quick mix, and don't forget, towards the end you need to add again your seasoning, because since you didn't add a lot of salt just now. So I'm going to add a little bit more of the salt. And then I'm going to mix it again. I'm just going to taste it just to make sure that it's not too much. Although if it's too much, you won't be able to change anything or do anything. But if it's less, you can always add in later if you want to. So the salt is good, and we are done. So we switch off the heat. And as you know, I love cilantros on my curries, so I'm just going to be adding cilantro on my curry. You can add as much as you want. So I like to add a little bit extra of the cilantro. And this is my spicy chicken curry. So if you try it, don't forget to drop me a comment. Let me know how it turns out. Would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me today on seeing me make my spicy chicken curry. So I hope you try it, and if you do, please do drop me a comment and let me know how it turns out. So as I'm repeating earlier, if you don't want to make it spicy and you just want to use the regular chicken curry powder, you can always substitute the spicy powder, 2 tablespoons, with your regular chicken curry powder. So see me again on my next video on another new dish that I'll be making, and I hope to see you in my next one.